Nvidia has finally lifted the embargo for reviews of their Turing RTX graphics cards. So what's the consensus?
I declare bankruptcy!
Stay tuned. I'm so pumped to announce the long-awaited release from Mastrop's collaboration project with Sennheiser, the HD58X. A successor to Sennheiser's first-in-class HD580 headphones, the HD58X is an audiophile's dream, and at just $150 it's able to outclass headphones at over twice the price. And while this is a sponsor, I'm serious. If you don't believe me, check out what the experts had to say. If you're interested, definitely check those out before they're sold out in the description below. Welcome back to GamerMeld. Nvidia's next generation RTX 2080 and 2080 Ti cards are here. Well, metaphorically, since the 2080 doesn't release until tomorrow, or today, depending on how long it takes me to do this video. Well, the reviews are here either way, and I'm sure your subscription box is full of them, so I figured I'd do what many of you asked for in the comments of a recent video, a price to performance comparison, as well as discuss why you may or may not want to purchase them. So yeah, let's get started. First up, I went through heaps of benchmarks. Yes, heaps is a word. And what I found is that performance is about what we've seen so far. About. But before I go over the numbers, I know there's other tech involved like ray tracing, but I'll get to that later. First, I'll discuss performance with classic rasterization techniques and without the new AI-powered DLSS. What I did was take a ton of 4K benchmarks, since these cards are pretty much only justifiable at 4K, and I averaged them out. And before you say it, I know there's a ton of different hardware used, different settings, etc. But the large number of benchmarks should help to really even it out and give a good overall picture, and the percentage increase should remain very similar. So in the end, the RTX 2080 got an average of 71 FPS, which puts it 36.5% above the 1080. The 2080 Ti averaged to 92 FPS and 35% higher than the 1080 Ti. As you can see, these numbers are actually pretty close to a normal generational jump. The problem comes when we add price. The Founders Edition 2080 Ti costs $13 per frame, with the 1080 Ti only costing $10. Another way to look at it, the 2080 Ti has around 35% more performance, but costs 71% more. On the other hand, the 2080 costs $11 per frame, while the 1080 is $9.6. And with the 2080 barely beating the 1080 Ti in frames, it's not looking so good. With all of that said, what I've alluded to this entire time is the simple fact that this generation really isn't as simple as a direct FPS to FPS comparison. For those who don't know, these cards support real-time ray tracing, which really is the next step in graphics. Not only that, but Turing DLSS technology, which uses AI to give a massive boost in performance, is really interesting, but it requires developer support. Basically, Nvidia has made a pretty huge gamble, and hey, many times to move forward, someone has to. But when it comes to whether you should or shouldn't buy, it's really a catch-22. Tons of GPUs will probably have to be sold before developers even care to implement it, but the tech needs to have a ton of support for gamers to feel justified in buying it. Really, it's a wait-and-see scenario. If you want the best fidelity possible, high frame rate, 4K gaming, VR, future 4K games to make sure you stay in that 60 FPS range, and you don't mind paying a pretty hefty premium for it, the RTX 2080 Ti can't be beat. But for its price, it's really quite hard to justify. The 2080, on the other hand, is a little tougher to say which way, at least at their current price. If board partners ever sell the RTX 2080 for the $700 MSRP we hear about, but for now seems like nothing but wishful thinking, then yeah, it's definitely not bad, given the 1080 Ti would be the same price, and you do have the potential with that next generation tech. If the price doesn't come down, and you're willing to take the gamble with ray tracing, which certainly can be incredible, I just really hope developers support it, the 2080 is still a great GPU. The simple fact is that we really don't know about ray tracing. No one's even able to test it. The Microsoft update that makes it possible isn't even here yet. Basically, while these GPUs certainly aren't bad, there's a lot of questions in the air, and last year's graphics cards absolutely have their place here. So while that does it for today, are you excited to pick up an updated GPU, or do you want to sit this one out? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to check out the HD58X. I definitely appreciate all of Mastrop's support. And as always, have a great day.